What is up, everybody? This is RybackStun. We are here with the Marvel Heroes Test Center. We are going to be taking a look at Magik fairly quickly. I do want to apologize for the little trick-or-treat buff above my above my character. One of the, they decided to take from an earlier build from when I didn't have this gone. So that's going to be a shame. But Magik, she's here. This is a very, very early test build. There's going to be changes coming. There's some issues with her icons. They don't look the way that they're supposed to. Some of the powers are not responding the way that they should, but we're going to show you as much as possible and try to get through the bugs as quickly as possible. But she's here on Test Center. Get on here, test her out, make a look at, after you watch this video, of course, take a look at all the stuff that she's got, do the combinations yourself, and as the builds come out through the next week and a half, we'll be able to get her into a place where she's going to be really strong for every player to want to play. So, right off the bat, Hero Synergy. Magik has plus 15 spirit and plus 5% damage to slowed targets. Before we go into her 3 trees specifically, which is Soul Sword, Limbo, and Magik, she has 2 stances. Her first stance is Mastery of the Soul Sword. Passively, it grants you damage, crit, and crit damage, and while toggled on, it grants you plus 5% damage to mental powers. And 7 League Step now deals 200% additional damage, has a cooldown, and bounces an additional 4 times, and it reserves 3 command. I'll explain that in just a second. The next one is this one, Eldritch Armor. It has defense rating, total defense rating, deflect rating, total deflect rating. I think those are abilities from the new defense rework. And while toggled on, it increases your total deflect rating. Mental damage to enemy when you're hit by a melee attack, and Spirit Fangs deals an additional 200% damage, has a cooldown, and has its area of effect increased. Vampiric Incantation has 3 specializations, which we will go over after the build. The powers are have a look taken at them. So, right off the bat, in the Soul Sword tree, we have Soul Slashing. Mental damage restores 2 spirit when you strike an enemy, attack speed 2.6 per second. Pretty simple. Strikes with the Soul Sword. What is that? Oh, that's my buff, my eye boost. Stepping Disc, it does mental damage, it has a cooldown, and the effect for the mental damage actually has a 3-second cooldown. So, but no spirit cost. So that's cool. You can still teleport around and do all the different things you want to, but every 3 seconds when she does that, boom. Next, we have 7 League Step. This is very familiar for those who use the team up. Mental damage, maximum 5 enemies hit. Spirit cost 14.1. So she comes through and does that. The stance will grant extra hits of that and extra damage as well as a cooldown. Rending Swings is another basic. She does mental damage. She restores health on hit. It has an additional 50% damage if Eldritch Armor or Mastery of the Soul Sword is toggled on. Interesting. Yeah. And it has an attack speed of 2.2 per second. So, there you go. Next is Levitating Disc. This is another power. You get to levitate and move around. Notice how it's showing Invisible Woman's icon. It will eventually show Magik as an icon on it. Also doesn't cost spirit, so that's a good stat. We have Sorceress Eruption, which is also familiar to people who've used the team up. Mental damage, immobilization duration of 2 seconds, a weaken, cooldown of 8 seconds, spirit cost 18.8. Boom, big damage there. Next, we have another basic, which is called Soul Cleaving. It has mental damage, deals an additional 5% extra damage for each summoned lesser demon and or spitting demon. 25% extra damage if Fist of Nestir or Nestir are summoned. Spirit cost of 7.5, attack speed 2.4 per second. So this will likely be the summon build's melee attack. And last, we have Step to Me, which throws a stepping disc on the ground of the enemies, transporting them in front of you. Mental damage, stun duration of 1.5, and a spirit cost of 13.2. So you toss it, it teleports. Obviously, these things resist, so you won't be able to see that effect, but that is that. One of the things that's here about Magik is she has an ability, a secondary resource called Command. While summoning demons, it consumes the essence of those demons through Dark Pack, which is a power here that has passives. But it also summoning the demons themselves require and reserve Magik, and then toggling the effects of your 2 different stances will reserve command as well. You have 8 command total, so you'll have to use it wisely, but you'll end up seeing what ends up happening later on. So, each one of these demons can do a couple different things. There's a couple small demons that you can summon, a big demon that you can summon, 2 sets of small demons, 2 big demons you can summon, and then a it looks like this is another. Oh, this is similar to Emma's power. Okay, cool. So, each of these that you activate can be activated again to have them attack a target. So, First of all, we've got Lesser Demon here. Has 100% of your health, damage reduction, 100% of your damage reduction. Demon Claw, if command is completely reserved, activate this power to direct the summons. It has a 5-second cooldown. So, you can drop the little Limbo Demon there, and they'll do their little Limbo Demon stuff. So, I can sit there and summon them all. And then, once I activate it, they'll all leap into one specific target. So, boom. Next, I'm going to showcase Dark Pact. It has a passive effect of summon ally damage and summon ally duration. Instantly destroys all active summons, and you gain benefits based on which summons were active. So hitting it, it blows them all up. For Limbo Demons, you get plus 2% bonus health per demon. For the Fist of Nastier, it deals Soul Shockwave deals 200% additional damage, has a cooldown and a larger area of effect, and your total defense rating is increased by 5%. Limbo Spitters increase 2% damage per demon. And Nastier himself steps to me, deals 200% additional damage, has a cooldown, cannot be resisted, and spirit costs reduced by 10%. You deactivate it to get all your command back. So, the Fist of Nastier himself has the same health and damage reduction, but he's got Fist Crush, Backhand, Tenton Stump, and then if command is completely reserved, activate this power to direct the summon demons into his Seismic Slam, 5-second cooldown. So I drop him, and he's going to go there, and I could then again summon more lesser demons to then target the Seismic Slam in one single direction, and then the Limbo Demons themselves to jump as well. So it looks like multiple powers work at once. That's kind of cool. So I'll deactivate that. Next we have Spitting Demons. These reserve 1 command. The Fist of Nastier reserves 5. It has the same stats and so on and so forth. It has Deadly Venom, and if a command is completely reserved, activate this power to direct the summon minions. So, I'm going to summon 7 of these guys. They're going to run around and spit on everything, because that's what they do. And when I summon the 8th one, they'll all spit in the same direction, and the next one will spit in that direction as well. I'll pop it one more time just to showcase to you guys how it all works. Boom, look at all that damage. So, the last summon we have here is Nastier himself. 5 command. He has Demonic Flare, Dimension Tear, and Infect. If command is completely reserved, activate this power directly to direct the summon minions to do Dark Artillery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to summon A, D, and A, and then I'm going to summon Nastier himself, and he's going to do all the little different damage. And once I get an opportunity to hit this one more time, Nastier will shoot the Dark Artillery while the rest of them continue to do their stuff, and I can summon them to do different things. And then activate Dark Pact, and they're all gone. Last power here, we have a passive effect on Eternal Servitude. Sorcerer's Eruption deals 200% additional damage, has a cooldown and a larger area of effect. This effect does not apply when the power becomes back from Limbo. Which I'm not sure how that happens, but we'll figure it out. This can only target biological enemies. If it does mental damage twice per second, you enslave the target if they're defeated. If successful, this power becomes back from Limbo, which can be used to summon that enemy to fight for you. Ongoing spirit cost is 4.7 seconds. Now, I can't show you this, because there's no way to defeat these things and get them to be enslaved. But in a later build, when I do an actual build, see what's going on the outside of the training center, I'll try to show that as it happens. Now, next, in the magic tree, we have Spirit Fangs. It does mental damage. Damage is increased based upon 10% of your bonus damage to summon allies. It is your vulnerability power, attack speed of 1.3 per second, spirit cost of 9.4. So, slow-moving targets, but they do their job. Next, we have Soul Blaze. This is a buff. You are immune to crowd control. You get 5% damage. You have mental damage twice per second when you hit. When somebody dies, they deal mental damage to enemies around them. You have it's an 8-second buff with a 20-second cooldown and 25 spirit cost. So yeah, and now you can do all the different kinds of things and all that lovely stuff, and the buff will go away here momentarily. Next, we have Vampiric Incantation. It restores when you hit an enemy affected. You restore health when you hit an enemy affected by Vampiric Incantation. It itself slows the enemy for 40% attack and movement speed. The debuff duration the debuff duration is 4.1 seconds, and the spirit cost is 25. So boom, and then I can activate this to gain some health, so on and so forth. Next, we have Bone Wall. Stops enemy projectiles and blocks enemy pathing. Damage reduction, it has 100% of your damage reduction, and then 100% of your health. Area duration is 6 seconds. the bone wall arises, which it's a wall of ants because it's just using Ant-Man's thing, but it will change up. It's already got the animation for the bone wall, which is kind of cool. Next, we have Soul Shockwave. It does mental damage, and it's damage based upon 10% of your bonus damage to summon allies. This is something I was really looking forward to, and I'm glad she has a couple abilities that do this. Excuse me. And summon the Soul Shockwave. It has an attack speed of 1.3 per second. So that's neat. That's a nice little area clear. Next, we have her Team Up Special. I believe this is supposed to be Signature. Otherworldly Nova. Does mental damage. It applies damage over time effective Otherworldly Nova. Your demon minions deal an additional 100% damage over 8 seconds, and you regenerate 25% of your health and 25% of your spirit. 30-second cooldown. Boom. Very nice. Now, this next power is called Vengeful Spirit. It does mental damage. It also has bonus. Its bonus damage is equal to 15% of your bonus damage to summon allies. Gain 1 charge whenever you defeat an enemy with a melee attack. And projectiles fired 1 for each charge. It consumes all charges on use. So, I don't know that I'm going to be able to defeat an enemy to show you that. I guess I can try to port out to the prologue really quick. Just try to see if I can defeat a couple enemies and then show this power. And in fact, let's do that with both. Oops. So, I just gained a Brute, who is now going to come out and activate and does an area of effect attack. I guess it just runs around. So that's kind of neat. Let's attack this Mugger. Let's use the teleporting disc so you can see some of this stuff in action. Spider-Man's attacking. That was melee. Some of these things still say Team Up Special because they're directed directly from the Team Up. So, okay, now that we have power, I have 5 charges of this, I think. We're going to go ahead and head into the bank and try and see if we can just kill some people with it, and then we'll pop out and leave. Ah, so they seek enemies and they go into different directions. So there you go. That's Magik. She's actually, right now, very early on, her kit's a little shaky, considering the fact that things are not working the way they should. But teleporting-wise, she has a nice little teleport that she can work on. There's some bugs with command. When you go to hubs, your minions disappear. A couple other different things happen. But the thing I'm very excited about is getting these Limbo Demons out and making sure that they end up doing all kinds of different things to work the different powers. Now, Darkchild is her ultimate, but it is not currently activated. I will make a separate video at a later point in time that showcases the ultimate. And in fact, look, you can still see these things around me, so let's go ahead and hit this one more time, and it's used all of those powers. That's really cool. I think her kit's going to be really cool. Summoners are going to love a lot of these powers here. The Spirit Fangs, the Soul Shockwave, and the Vengeful Spirits, as well as the Soul Cleaving to get the extra damage while you have Nestir or the Fist of Nestir, and additionally, the demons themselves. So, looking forward to seeing how the uniques come out, how all her power points spread out, how she's going to work in combat, and specifically for the specializations for Magik's Vampiric Incantation. Amplified damage increases all damage Magik and her demons deal to effective enemies. Weaken reduces all damage affected enemies deal to Magik and her demons. And then confuses all enemies and causes them to deal increased damage to each other, but the debuff's duration is halved. So likely people are going to end up using Amplify or Weaken. Amplify if they want to do more damage, Weaken if they want to take less damage. So I hope you guys enjoyed Magik as much as I did showcasing it. Remember to like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr at RybackStun. More videos as they come along, and with that, this is RybackStun, signing out.